Welcome to Food Science and Technology 3. Today we are going to be talking about the science and the art of meat smoking. I am Dr. Mshayisa, and we will explore in this video how smoking enhances the flavor, the aroma, and the preservation of meat products. So here we are still continuing on that chapter on meat and meat products. So the question is, what is smoking? Smoking is a unit operation which is often used with salting and curing. Why is it important? It is important because it gives desired flavor, aroma, and it also helps in the preservation of the food. So it was noted that preservation substances added to the meat together with the action of heat during smoking have a germicidal effect, and that drying of the meat together with chemicals from the smoke inhibit microbial growth during storage. So the question is, what are the benefits or the desirable effects of smoking? So the desirable effects of smoking can be categorized into five elements. The first one, when we are talking in the context of meat, we are going to be looking at meat preservation. The second one is the antioxidant impact. The third one is the smoke flavor. The fourth one is the color formation. And the last one is the surface hardening. In terms of the meat preservation, during the smoking process, you have aldehydes, phenols, and acids in the smoke that have antimicrobial properties. In other words, they inhibit the growth and the proliferation of the microorganisms. What about the antioxidant impact? Phenols and aldehydes, they have the ability to reduce or retard the fat oxidation. And so if you retard fat oxidation, then you can then extend the shelf life of the meat products. Now we look into the flavor. Flavor formation. So these phenols and carbonyl compounds that are liberated during the smoking process, they give meat its characteristic smoky flavor. In terms of color formations, the very same carbonyls and aldehydes, they contribute to the attractiveness of the color of the smoked meats. The last one, which is surface hardening. Surface hardening of sausages, casings, through aldehydes in particular, provides us with products that are more rigid in terms of the structure. So now, let's talk about how smoke is produced and its nature. Smoke is produced by burning of wood and its sawdust, which is sometimes called wood shavings. And the composition of this wood or this sawdust consists of around 40 to 60% cellulose, 20 to 30% hemicellulose, and 20 to 30% lignin. During the burning of the wood, a temperature gradient exists. So the outer surface temperature is generally above 100 degrees during the dehydration process. And the consequence of that is that compounds such as CO2 and CO and other organic acids are produced. For example, acetic acid is released during the dehydration and the distillation process. So when the internal moisture level reaches zero, the temperature rises rapidly to 300 to 400 degrees Celsius, the internal temperature. So once the temperature falls within this range, the thermal decomposition occurs and the smoke is given off. At the point of generation, smoke exists in a gaseous state, but it quickly transitions to vapor and particle phases. So this vapor phase, containing these volatile components, is what is responsible for the characteristic flavor and the aroma of smoke. So what are the components that are involved here? The aldehydes, which I mentioned earlier on, and the phenols, what they do is that they condense to form resins, which represents about 50% of the smoke component and provide most of the color in smoked meats. The amount then and the ratio of smoke deposition on the product are influenced by several factors. And what are these factors? There are 4 factors that influences the amount and the ratio of smoke deposition on the product. And these are the smoke density, the smokehouse air velocity, the relative humidity, and lastly, the surface of the product being smoked. Cooking is often done simultaneously with smoking. And why this is the case? This is because it's a fact that cooking is often more important than smoking in meat processing, because it requires careful control of the smoking process and the heating process to achieve the best results. Now let's turn our attention to liquid smoke preparations, which are an alternative to traditional smoke. So liquid smoke is used by some processors, and of course it does have some benefits. Firstly, the first benefit is that it does not require the installation of a smoke generator, which usually requires a major financial outlay or financial investment. And the second benefit is that this process is more repeatable, as the composition of the liquid smoke that you have is more constant. So liquid smoke can be prepared so the particle phase is removed, and thereby possibly problems from the carcinogens can be alleviated. So this is an alternative to what we started with, which is just burning the wood, and then these guys, then they came up with an idea to have liquid smoke. So liquid smoke is more like a flavorant that can be added into the food products, and is generally prepared from wood that is hard, and the final product is composed mostly of the vapor phase and contains mainly phenols, of course, organic acids, alcohols, and carbonyl compounds. So there are 2 types of smoking that you can then find. So you've got cold smoking, and then you also have smoking which is hot. This one uses hot temperatures above 60 degrees to 80 degrees Celsius, and then the cold smoke uses about 15 to 18 degrees Celsius. Where can this be used? In terms of application, cold smoking is used for fermented meat products. This will include raw cured ham, raw fermented sausages, and pre-cooked sausages such as liver and blood sausages. And then on the other hand, hot smoking is used for a range of raw cooked sausages, bacon, and also products that are such as cooked ham products. So, in conclusion, smoking not only enhances the preservation, the flavor, and the color of meat products, but it also offers modern alternatives like liquid smoke for consistent results. So therefore, understanding the science behind smoking can help achieve the best meat quality. And as you would see, more and more innovations are coming in terms of products that have a smoked flavor. You've got various products that have got smoky flavors, but the real deal is mostly still in the application of meat and meat products for this technology. Thank you for listening. If you've got any questions or comments, please share this with us so that we can engage on further topics.